A long time ago.
In a galaxy far, far away.
Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back, picks up 3 years after the events of A New Hope.
The rebels are on the run after destroying the Death Star, and they've made a new base on the planet Hoth.
The Empire has been sending out probe droids in hopes of finding the hidden rebel base. With any luck, they'll be able to wipe out the pesky rebellion.
Luke goes on patrol to investigate a meteor that landed nearby. But before he can get a good look, a Wampa attacks him and takes him back to his cave for a tasty lunch.
Luke frees himself with the help of the Force, but once outside the cave, he doesn't get far.
Back at the base, Han decides to go looking for Luke after he doesn't show up.
Nightfall is coming, and there's very little chance that Luke will make it, but Han is unwilling to leave his friend out to die.
Han eventually finds Luke, and after his Tauntaun dies, he cuts it open to put Luke inside so he can keep Luke warm.
The next morning, scouts are sent out to see if they can locate Han and Luke, and sure enough, they find them and take them back to the rebel base.
Once back at the base, Luke is given medical treatment, and Han and Chewie go back to look for that meteor.
When they get to the site, they find out it's a probe droid, and they shoot it down.
Not a good idea, because this alerts the Empire that they are there.
They send down troopers, as well as AT-ATs and AT-STs.
The rebels do their best to hold their ground against the AT-ATs. However, they're just too strong to bring down, and there are too many troopers on the ground for them to win the battle.
The armor on the AT-AT is too strong for their guns to pierce, so Luke suggests that they use the tow cables and trip them up.
This works to bring down the AT-ATs, allowing the rebel transport to escape.
Han finds Leia still in the base command center. She refuses to leave until she hears that there are troopers in the base.
Her and Han make their way to the Falcon, where hopefully Chewie is getting it ready for space travel.
Well, it is definitely a close call, but despite how badly the Falcon needs repairs, she is able to blast off just as soon as Vader walks in.
Well, they aren't out of the woods yet, because they still have to make it past the Imperial blockade, which won't be easy without a hyperdrive.
Since they are unable to make the jump to hyperspace, Han navigates his way through an astrofield and finds a cave where he can make some repairs.
Back with Luke, he makes his way to Dagobah, where he was told by Old Ben that he will find a Jedi Master to train him.
The flight isn't that great, as he crashes into a swamp, sinking his ship.
With very few choices, he makes camp, in the hopes of eventually finding this Master Yoda that Ben had told him about.
He tells R2 that he feels like they're being watched, then turns around to find a little green creature.
This little green man makes himself at home in Luke's camp, rummaging through just about everything.
Luke gets very upset with him, but when Luke reveals why he is there, the creature tells Luke that he knows how to find the one he seeks.
So they head back to his hut. And it is here, after Luke becomes very impatient, that it's revealed that the little green man is none other than Master Yoda himself.
Back with Han, Chewie, and Leia, the repairs on the Falcon aren't going too well, with more and more problems popping up.
One such problem just so happens to be the fact that the cave they're hiding in is not a cave, it's a giant space slug.
So, after escaping the jaws of death, they head to a planet called Bespin, where Han says he has a friend who might be able to help them.
Once on Bespin, they head to Cloud City to meet with Lando Calrissian.
Lando tells Han that his men will be able to fix the Falcon, and while they wait, they are his guests.
However, little do they know, it's all a trap set by Darth Vader.
They arrive just before the Falcon, and there is really little Lando could do about it.
Going on at the same time as all this, Luke has been training on Dagobah. But once his friends are captured, he senses it through the Force and says he has to go rescue them.
Yoda tells him he must not go, that needs to stay and train. He's not ready to face Vader yet.
Luke insists that he will come back, but he can't just let his friends die, so he goes.
The Empire's plan is to lure Luke in with his friends and then capture him, so Vader can take him to the Emperor. But to ensure he doesn't escape, they plan on putting him in carbonite.
This isn't a normal thing to do, so they use Han as a guinea pig to make sure Luke will actually survive.
And despite Harrison Ford's best efforts, Han Solo does survive this, and they decide it is safe to use on Luke.
Once Luke gets to Cloud City, the trap is sprung, and he finds himself face to face with the infamous Darth Vader.
But Luke shows no fear. He ignites his lightsaber and faces Vader.
Back with Leia and Chewie, Lando helps him escape in hopes to make up for what he's done. Chewie thanks him.
After Han was frozen in carbonite, Boba Fett took him so he could cash in on the bounty Jabba the Hutt placed on Solo's head.
So Leia, Lando, and Chewie chase after him, hoping to catch him before he leaves Cloud City. However, they're too late, so they head to the Falcon to flee the city themselves.
Luke is absolutely no match for Vader. But Vader hopes to be able to bring him to the dark side, and he uses this match as a test, which is the only reason Luke lasts as long as he does.
Eventually, Vader gets fed up with all this and says enough is enough, and cuts off Luke's hand, ending the fight.
Luke makes his way out on a small, slim platform in the middle of the Cloud City reactor shaft to get away from Vader.
Vader gives Luke a choice. Join the dark side, join him, and together they can bring peace to the galaxy.
Luke refuses, telling Vader he'll never join him, especially after he killed his father.
No, I am your father.
Luke lets go, falling into the reactor shaft, eventually getting sucked into one of the side vents, and falling off the bottom of Cloud City.
Once on the Falcon, Lando and Chewie get the ship in the air and ready for blastoff. Before they leave Bespin, Leia senses that Luke is in trouble, and they go and find him.
After rescuing Luke from the bottom of Cloud City, they make their escape, jumping into hyperspace, finally out of reach of the Empire.
The banged up rebellion meet up in the outer regions, where Luke is given proper medical treatment and a robotic hand.
And with that, Luke and Leia stay with the rebellion, giving Luke time to heal, while Lando and Chewie set out to find and rescue Han Solo.